Om. Welcome. I'm Sharada Devi, your host and guide for this Ritualize Your Life challenge. We are here at day 9, step 9. Incredible, we made it. Welcome everyone. Hello Filippa, Carmen is back, Doro Taco, hello Christine, hello Kate, Om Jagadish, hello Beate, welcome. And let's start with our prayers as some more are joining. Rika. So many of you have been with me live every day, and many of you have been joining after with the recordings, and I feel we're like really in this challenge together, and I'm receiving so many blessings from it. And many of you have told me that you are receiving also many blessings from this sadhana, this spiritual discipline, and I'd love to hear from you today also. Things that have landed, things that are coming up. And today I posted a very daring reel dedicated to the blood and the ritualizing and sanctification of our sacred blood. So, you Sharada too. Welcome. So, let's take this moment and invoke Ganesha. Ganesha is that which removes obstacles, and we invoke Saraswati. She is who offers and gives us the words to communicate with. She is the goddess of knowledge, the goddess of truth, and the goddess of sacred arts. So we've been chanting to them every day to sanctify our time, to create a sanctuary for us, to consecrate our time together, and to offer it up for the highest good of all beings. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Aim Hrim Om Saraswatyai Namaha. Aim Hrim Om Saraswatyai Namaha. Aim Hrim Om Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And Shanti means peace, and we chant it 3 times. The first piece is dedicated to ourselves, to this body, this mind. May there be Shanti, freedom from distraction, freedom from pain in our bodies. The second piece, the second Shanti, is dedicated to our close surrounding, the people that are in our proximity, let them be in Shanti and free from pain. And then the third Shanti is dedicated to the forces, the places where we have no say over. It just is there in nature, like for example the wind that can be very strong and make a lot of sound. So let there be some Shanti for the time being, so that we can be initiated into this step number 9 of our 36 steps, ritualizing our life. So, so if you have any questions, any comments, any things that come up, please share them in the chat with me. That has come up for you for the last 8 days, and I'd love to hear how everything is landing for you, and if anything that is here, any questions, everything is welcomed. And so important for questions to be answered, because if we don't answer certain questions, and there can be many questions, many doubts, because we're doing something unusual, we're chanting, we're praying, we're doing certain gestures, and all of this can bring up a lot of doubts, a lot of confusion, even a lot of triggers also. And so if we don't attend to these doubts and questions, it's difficult, it can be difficult to have an open mind to receive what is coming, the new things, new knowledge, new information, new knowledge, new tools when there is a part of us that doesn't fully trust. And so establishing trust for the knowledge to be passed on is very important. It's fundamental, actually. So everything is welcomed. Now let's take a moment and just breathe into our heart, our belly. And giving space to what is here. Questions, doubts, confusions, or excitement. And that is a big part of ritualizing our life. To make space, to give space. And only when there is space we have an opportunity to process. Process what? Emotions. And when there is no space, like for example, when there is no space in your belly, because we're eating, there's too much food, and there is no space, then we get constipated. There's not enough room to digest the food, and we get constipated. We're not able to go to the toilet, and that then accumulates and translates into toxins that are stored in our bodies. And then those toxins, they are translated in the form of feeling lethargic, feeling tired, feeling dull, not being able to focus, feeling distracted, not being able to concentrate. It can also lead to sickness, to disease, to fear, to all kinds of different emotions that are being that are intensified. So let's take a moment just to be with the emotions. Welcome them like space welcomes everything. Everything is welcomed in the infinite space of awareness. And then exhale it out with the sound. And we do it 2 more times, okay? Just giving space to what is here, to the feeling, to the sensation. And 1 more time. See if something shifts. Or maybe it's the same emotion, the same feeling. Breathe into it. Give it space. Welcome it. And give it a sound. Maybe you want to shake your arms for a moment. Shaking the shoulders. Giving a little bit a rubbing onto the belly or the solar plexus, the heart. I'm well, thank you. So welcome everyone, those that I haven't yet said hello to. So happy you're all here. Step number 9 of the 36 steps of ritualizing our life. How do we ritualize our life? So ritualizing 1 day at a time. And we ritualize 1 day by ritualizing the moment we wake up, or before we wake up, all the way we go to bed. So do you have any sleep meditations on your page? Not like particular sleep meditation. No, I don't really have sleep meditations. I have many other meditations dedicated to the space, air, fire, water, earth, like different Vedic meditations, inner child meditations, reimagination meditations, many, but not like specific for sleep. There are like yoga nidra for that, yes. Yeah, maybe that's something that is going to come. So basically, I already now at the beginning, or right now in our little meditation, I talked about space and how important it is to give space so that we have the ability to digest the stimulus that comes in through our 5 sense organs. Everything that we experience in life, it comes in through our 5 sense organs. What are those? Our eyes, our ears, our taste, our nose, the smell, and our touch. Those are called pancha jnanendriyaha. Indriya means a sense organ, pancha means 5, jnana means knowledge. So pancha jnanendriya, the 5 sense organs. Those are our 5 organs. They're not like organs like the lungs or the heart, but that's the closest word we have to translate jnanendriya. And they are part of the subtle body of the sukshma sharira, and they are responsible for that we are able to receive the stimulus that comes in. And so those pancha jnanendriyas, they are receiving all this stimulus, so much stimulus. And where does all this stimulus come together? In our antakarana. Our antakarana is the mind. Antaha means inner, karana means instrument. So our inner instrument. What is the outer instrument? The body, this body that you can see, touch. The physical body is called the outer instrument. The inner instrument is called antakarana, or in simple terms, the manas, the mind. And then the mind is divided into 4 different parts according to the Yoga Veda tradition. And so in the manas is where all the stimulus comes together, and we're processing all this information. And this information that comes in is formed into a thought modification. And that thought modification is called a vritti. And so a vritti is a thought modification. What is a thought modification? It's that which the mind creates because of all the stimulus, the experiences that we are processing through our 5 sense organs. So if we have a smell that comes, or we have a sound that comes, or we have a feeling that comes, like all of this is processed in our mind. It's registered in our mind. It turns into a thought, and then we give it a name. It has a name, nama and rupa, a name and a form. And all of that is registered in our mind. And so what happens is that there's so much information, so many thought modifications, so many vrittis in our mind. Like because there's so much information that comes in through our 5 sense organs all day, all night. It's just so full. I like to call it like campur. Campur in Indonesia is this nasi campur. It's like a dish. Nasi means rice. And campur, it means mixed. And so when you go to Indonesia, and I live in Bali usually since almost 16 years, and there's this dish called nasi campur. And so it's rice with lots and lots of different little dishes, many little dishes. And so it means a mixed rice. And so it's so beautiful, but it's so full, and it's all together. And like a masala chai, like masala also means mixed. It's all the different spices are together. And then sometimes if you have a very strong sense of taste or smell, you're able to differentiate what kind of tastes or flavors are there. I'm located in Bali, in Ubud, Penisthanam, Purnasthanam, the place of fullness. So basically, like we have also this nasi campur or this masala chai in our mind. There's so many thought modifications, so many vrittis, like. And what happens when there is so many thoughts, so much stimulus, we feel overwhelmed. And when we feel really, really, very, very, very overwhelmed, we panic. We freak out. Because it's too much. It's too much information. Purnasthanam, yes, exactly. It's too much information to process. And then it's not only the information to process, because the information is connected to emotion. Like we as human beings, we're emotional beings. And so if it would just be the information or the stimulus that is just information, and we would just receive it as it is, it's fine. But we don't receive things as they are. We receive them, and then we project a lot of meaning onto things that we either project just based on our own interpretation of what it is, or from outside, like religion, culture, politics, family, school. They all have a notion, an idea, a belief about what is going on in the world. And then we also have all these notions and beliefs about all these things that we're experiencing, and all of that is there in our mind, like in our beautiful mind, this precious jewel, this antakarana, this inner instrument, this precious jewel. And it's just here actually doing its job all day long, like trying to process all this information that comes in. Like it's trying to help us and trying to keep track and trying to plan and trying to differentiate and trying to remember. All day long it does so much for us. And what do? We judge it. Right? And there's a part in us, like that inner critic that judges our mind. Like suddenly it's the fault of the mind. Like it's all the fault of the mind. And then we start to judge the mind. Like and we hear that sometimes. I don't know if you've heard that, but I've been in the spiritual world for 20 years. And then I hear often, or I used to hear often, now a little bit less, but it's still there, like it's the mind fault. Just get out of the mind. Right? Just be in the body all the time. Like I love being in the body. Like those that know me, you know me, I'm all about embodiment. But like then to judge the mind, reject the mind. Like there's also a festival, it's called No Mind Festival. Then we're rejecting an aspect of our humanity. Yes, I do save all these lives. They're all on my feet. Like so, we're rejecting an aspect of our of this experience, and the experience of our mind is a very important one. Without the mind, we cannot function. Without your mind, you don't remember, you don't differentiate, you don't cognize, you don't nothing. Right? So we got to give our mind a break. We can support our mind instead of judging it, instead of rejecting it, instead of putting it down. Like we can actually become friends with our mind. We can befriend our mind. We can give it the benefit of the doubt that it tries to do the best it can. It just does its job. And so how can we support the mind? Right? Because the mind is actually here to support us in every possible way. And so now, how can we support the mind? And so one of the ways is, like what we are doing here is giving space to inquire, like what is really real, what is unreal. All this judgment that I have made upon the world, about myself, about God, is it real? And we're here like taking time. Like some of you have been spending 1 hour a day with me. It's incredible, like wow. And there's so much going on in the world, and you choose to be here, where you could be anywhere else, and you choose to be here. So we're giving time to inquire, and we have been given time to ritualize our life, to really spend a moment, a second, before we wake up, to acknowledge our existence. Like we've been given time to acknowledge that we can breathe. We've been given time, we gave time to acknowledge that we are doers and that our actions impact the world. So we have been giving time to honor all these steps of the day. And that has given space. Like it gives some space between one action and the next action. So there's some time to assimilate what's actually going on. And so your mind has a time to breathe, has a time to assimilate the action and then the stimulus that comes in due to the action. Does it make sense? Like because all the actions that we're doing, they all create a result, a phalam, they create stimulus. So we're either always in the doer mode, in the karta mode, or we're either in the bhokta mode, in the experiencer mode. Either I'm experiencing, or I'm doing, or I'm knowing. Those are the three hoods we carry, like the three identities that we all as human beings carry, as a doer, as an enjoyer, experiencer, or as a knower. And so we're shifting between those three, either as a doer and an experiencer, as a knower. And so these are all things that we're starting to see, right? That's true. Like, is it true? Do you experience yourself as a doer sometimes, right? You do. I'm a CEO, like I'm a doctor. And we identify with certain actions. Like we identify with the very important actions that are important based on our understanding and judgments. Like teaching. It's a very important action, so I'm a teacher. Or I'm I'm an accountant. Right? So I identify with the action of counting numbers. I become an accountant. So we identify with certain actions, but we don't identify with all the actions, do we? Like when you go to the toilet, I'm a pooper. You don't identify with being the pooper, do you? Or when you brush your teeth, brush your teeth. We're not identifying with, oh, I'm a toothbrusher. We're only identifying with certain actions, and with others we're not. An interesting question to ask, right? Same with when we enjoy things. Sometimes I'm the enjoyer, and then I'm very much affected by the stimulus that comes in and the pleasure or pain. And then when it's pleasurable, then I'm the enjoyer, and I'm like ecstatic and pleasurable. And when things don't go the way I want, somebody hurts me, then I'm really hurt. And somebody hurt me. And then I identify with being the victim. And the same with knowledge. Sometimes I identify with certain things I know, and with other things I do not identify with. So we're giving space to inquire into all these conclusions that we have made about ourselves. And it gives space to the mind to question, are all these conclusions that I have made upon myself, are they true? Or am I, when I feel so many feelings and I feel overwhelmed and panicking, it's a sign that you need space in your life. You panic, you're overwhelmed, you freak out. All this is as a result due to too much stimulus. You gotta cool down. Right? Because you do not have enough a container, enough space to process. Your mind is overwhelmed. It's simply overwhelmed. So if the mind is overwhelmed, it needs space. It needs space to digest all the stimulus that comes in. And so how do we give space? We're here sitting together, meditation, guided meditation, to be with all the thoughts, the vrittis, with all the emotions. We have mantra, repetition of mantras. And so many beautiful tools we are given that allow for space. And then in that spaciousness, emotions can be processed, information can be processed. You can start to see things as they clearly are. And when you see things clearly as they are, you can respond to situations. If you do not see things clearly as they are, you are reacting. And when you're in a reaction, you are not yourself. You feel alienated from yourself. And then you do something that you regret afterwards. And you're like, ugh, why did I do that? Can anyone relate? Right. So why am I speaking about all of this today? You may be wondering. Because today is dedicated to elimination. It's dedicated to our excretion, to our digestive tract, right? Because yesterday was dedicated to our blood. For those bleeding beings, those that are not bleeding beings, you can still honor the blood that we all have, right? And the ability of procreation and the beauty of Shakti, goddess. But today, this step really is for everyone, because we all go and poop, basically, right? It's very, very important to go and take a poop. And I, at the moment, have this most wonderful, marvelous red throne that my friend did. I love it, in nature. I'm here in the Algarve, in South Portugal, where I'm going to have my retreat. Very, very special retreat this year. It's not a retreat, actually. It's an immersion. 7 days, deep immersion. It's called the Nectar of You. From separation to sacred union. From drama to dharma. October 28th to November 3 in Portugal, in Amaria. So, a very special place. And I'm here, and I chose to be here in the wild luxury nature, because I love nature and I love a yurt. I always had a dream to stay in a yurt, and I'm staying in a yurt right now. And it's marvelous. I have the most wonderful sunsets, and I have a wonderful kitchen and an outside toilet with a red throne. And I take my every day, a few times a day nowadays, outside in nature, and it's wonderful. I love it so much. But there was a time in my life where I I did not go many times to the toilet a day. Like only now I'm starting to go a few times a day. Before, it was a big success for me to be able to go to the toilet every day, because there were years where I was so constipated. There were years, like even 10 years ago, I remember I was in the ashram. 2014, I was studying in the ashram in Arshavidya Gurukulam, that's my school. And we had a full day scheduled from morning 5 till evening 9 o'clock, going to temple and meditation in Sanskrit and chanting and Vedanta and all these incredible tools and knowledge. And I was quite stressed out, so I didn't go much to the toilet. And so sometimes I would go to the toilet once a week. And the worst, one time I went like after 10 days only, and I felt miserable, like so miserable. And I didn't know why I didn't do more before, like I waited so long. So like if you don't go regularly to the toilet, you gotta make a checkup. Like we all have to we get to eliminate every single day the food that we intake. Like every day, Āyurveda, the science of long life, the knowledge of long life. Āyu, who means long life, Veda means knowledge. So the knowledge of long life, which is the sister of yoga, which is part of the spiritual heritage of the Vedic tradition, like Āyurveda says, you get to go to the toilet every single day. And actually, we get to go to the toilet after every time we eat even. Like when I heard that, I was like, what? Is that possible? Like, what? But it makes total sense, isn't it? If we eat, and we digest, and then something has to go out. It makes sense. But who really nowadays eats and goes to the toilet? Like maybe pitta people that have a really good digestion, like the fiery people. But even fiery people often then have acidity because there's so much fire, and then they're prone to diarrhea. Like, so if you're prone to diarrhea, it means there's something out of balance. If you're prone to constipation, it means there's something out of balance. We are supposed to go to the toilet minimum once a day. And it is fundamentally important for your well-being, physically, emotionally, mentally. So we are ritualizing our elimination, our going to the throne. Right? So we can give some juiciness. We're going to the throne. We're going to the most important business of the day, and honor this act with also a prayer, and a Sanskrit mantra, so you can chant as you are on your toilet, and then also how to sit on the toilet. That really helps, right? So I would like to speak so much more about like Ayurveda and the digestion, how important it is, but I'm not going to do that so that this life does not become too long. We are covering some of these topics in the Heron's Journey, but for that, contact Philippa Devi, my dear sister, Ayurveda practitioner. There are many great Ayurveda. Elisa I have also, and many of you probably also into Ayurveda, because Ayurveda really has served, like, I don't know, maybe saved my life is a little bit extreme, but really supported me to get out of my irritable bowel syndrome, that nobody knew what I had. I was a little girl, and Philip also, my dear sister who is here with me, and friend and student and sacred sister. We just talked about it before, how we were both, when we were little girls, like with so much stomach pain and just like lying down on the street because our bellies would hurt so much. And we both took on the Ayurveda, this incredible knowledge of Ayurveda, where it teaches you how to, first of all, it teaches you to know what constitution you are, if you're a fire person, a pitta person, if you're a vata person, or an airy person, or kapha, not kapha, kapha person, a water person. And then with that you can recognize what kind of food is good for you, what to eat, when to eat, how much to eat, your sleep, like all of this. The Ayurveda gives you beautiful routine to follow, and not for the rest of your life, but it gives it to you so that you can follow it as long as you're out of balance. And then once you're back to balance, It's not like this restrict diet and then you can never ever eat something anymore. No, it's all for the purpose to balance your dosha. Your dosha means the constitution. And so then you can start to like really get to know your body, your constitution, and you know what kind of food is good for you, and you can balance easily your constitution just with the food. And it makes total sense. It's very simple, very deep. If you're a very fiery person, you don't need to have too much spicy food, because spicy naturally is going to increase the fire. If you're a very airy person, like Vata person, we don't eat too much nightshades food because it increases the autoimmune system. So Ayurveda is incredible science, knowledge. And so I took on to Ayurveda. I had my first Panchakarma, which is it used to be like a 48 days, then it turned into 28 days, now it's 21 days. Nowadays you can do 10 days Panchakarma, which means like a deep cleansing protocol. Pancha means 5, karma, the 5 actions to purify your body. And I started doing this 20 years ago. I had my first Panchakarma in India, and I would eat the ghee every day. Ghee inside, everywhere, ghee. It's beautiful, clarified butter. I still eat it till today. And you go through this regime, and I started to heal my irritable bowel syndrome, which back in the days in Switzerland nobody could really find a cure for my belly pain and my lifelong constipation and lifelong acidity. At that time it felt lifelong and it felt impossible to heal, but I did heal it. And then I did Panchakarma every single year for like 10 years. And then I started to do my own Panchakarma. And so now Ayurveda is just that's how I live a lot. Not all the time, but I mean the food restriction, it really helps me very quickly to get back to balance. And also with Ayurveda, it really helped me to have a healthy digestion. And now I'm able to go to the toilet every single day, along with all the yoga and the Vedanta and the mantra, because the food alone, it's I don't know how much percentage you cover, but it's not enough, because so much is connected to the emotion. And that's why I started with that. Like if we have so many emotions, so much stimulus that comes in, and we do not give space for all these emotions to be processed, we freak out, the belly freaks out. Right? It goes together. Whatever we eat, it affects the mind. Whatever goes on in the mind, it affects my digestion. They all go together, hand in hand. Whatever happens on one level of the body, it affects the other level of the body. The emotional body, the physical body, or the mental body. They're all intertwined and they all affect each other, of course. So which center in India? I went to my first one was in Dharamshala. That's where I did my first Panchakarma, and then I did my Panchakarma every year with Dr. Sujata in Amrita Siddhi in Ubud. She's an incredible doctor. I've done it with her every year there, because I live in Bali, in Ubud, so that was easy to go to. And she still has her clinic there. I highly recommend it. Incredible Ayurveda doctor. So, because of Panchakarma, you get to be supported by a doctor. Like it's not recommended to do a Panchakarma by yourself if you have really no background. Yes, I have been to Kerala. I love Kerala. I lived in India for quite a long time, on and off. So, yes. So basically, digestion, very important. So we give space mentally to digest all our stimulus and emotions. We'll speak about the digestion and the processing of emotion as we go in our Ritualise our life. It's going to come. But then with the food, like so, it's very important what you eat, how you eat, how many times a day you eat. And if you need support, Ayurveda can really help you. There's something called Triphala. It's the 3 bitter fruits. They are incredible for indigestion, to help you go to the toilet. And what is very important, to ritualize when you go to the toilet. That's why we do this. So you take time. We get out of this I have to go to the toilet. No, going to the toilet is holy. It's a sacred time. And so to take that time, and then also see, is there any shame in your anus, any shame or any disgust towards the smell? All of that we want to neutralize. Yes? Imagine if we could not eliminate eliminate. Like we would just be full of toxins and poisons in our body. But no, God, infinite intelligent being, created this body very intelligently. We eat, it created a digestion, it created a digestive fire, and it created intestines, and it created pancreas, and it created an anus so that we can eliminate. And then we offer this, what comes out, the coat, we offer it to the universe, back to the earth, and it goes back to the earth. That's so beautiful here, where I have like a compost toilet at the moment. Like I go and actually take out my own shit and put it back into Mother Nature. We mix it with the food, with the leftover of food, and it becomes compost, and then it's used for the garden. It's so beautiful to be in touch with the whole cycle of creation, sustenance, and destruction. Like that's the destructive power, the Shiva, the Durga. We get to come in touch with the destructive power. It's crucial, fundamental for a balanced life. So basically, I'm going to show you the slides here. So step number 9 is elimination. And so the prayer, if you do not want to chant it in Sanskrit, you can say in English, or you translate it into your mother tongue. In my excretion, I invoke the sacred. May my digestion be well and purify my body. This is a suggestion. You can find your own prayer. Right? But so when you sit on the throne, in my excretion, in this excretion, I invoke the sacred. May my digestion be well and purify my body. And so this step also, you see, if you go right away after step 8 or 7 or 6, or if you do first step number 10 that I'm going to introduce tomorrow, because sometimes I do self-care first, like abhyanga, like a massage to nurture the body, and then I go to the toilet. But nowadays, I go first to the toilet and then do self-care, because my digestion, I just want to go to the toilet, because that's how my digestion works right now. But for some of us, if we have slow digestion, it can really help to first massage yourself, and then there are special kriyas, also purification rituals, like the Nauli kriya for the belly, the drinking of the warm water, and do some movements that can help to then go to the toilet. So like I mentioned, the other lives, like the steps that I'm giving you, of course you can adjust based on your situation and background and need. Another very important aspect is the position of going to the toilet. So I love to sit in Malasana when I'm on the toilet. So what is Malasana? Like the way, like in our Western culture, we have a toilet and then the legs are down. And actually this is not at all supportive in any way for our intestine and for a successful, smooth elimination. And so Malasana is this position, like this. So I actually sit, like I'm sharing with you like these very intimate things right now of my life. But that's okay, I have nothing to hide really. So I sit in the toilet like this, if I don't have like a toilet that has no toilet. I don't know how you call them in English. So basically I go up onto this toilet and I put my feet on the toilet and I just sit like this, and it comes out very effortlessly nowadays. What you can do if you cannot sit like this, if you don't want to sit on your toilet, then you take a little a chair or a little hocker, like a little little table, little chair. Like there are even these special little, how do you call them? Like to put up the feet, like so that you can put up, you can sit on the normal toilet, and either you have maybe a little chair, or you can buy the special yoga tables that are actually especially there to help lift the feet so that your knees are higher than your butt, because what we want is that the knees are higher, and then it's easier for us to poop to go to the toilet because of the intestine. Like the great yoga therapists, they can tell you exactly how it works. I'm not so deeply much into the anatomy and everything, but but it makes sense, like to have the legs higher, and then the intestines, and it lengthens also the intestine. So makes sense. That's why I love to poop in the wild. Yes. Squatty potty. Thank you, Kate. Exactly, like a squatty potty. Yes, a squatty potty. Yeah, like squatty potty to put up the legs. Really great. So this really, really, really helps to go to the toilet. Like now I have so many other things that are coming to me, because when I was constipated for so long, like I would try everything, like ghee, 1 spoon of ghee per day. I would have castor oil. I would have like soaking flax seeds and oats and like all this remedy. Oh, for a while I would take vinegar, apple cider vinegar. Like I tried it all. Because when you're really constipated, yeah, you want to go to the toilet. But the most important is really the processing of my emotions. Like that's what really at the end, with the support of Tripala and Āyurveda and all this natural herbal remedy, but it was really giving space, time to my emotions, to be with my mind, be with all the stimulus and process, because it was in the belly where I was carrying all the pain. So many emotions stored in the belly. Oh my goddess. And then for a long time, actually, I did a lot of abdominal massage also. For years and years, I did abdominal massage. So that's also wonderful. I teach a lot of abdominal massage in one of my programs called the Muse, the Golden Womb. There we learn all of that. So, and the mantra that goes with that, and in the Nectar of You, we'll also do abdominal massage. It also comes in some. And then tomorrow I'll speak about that actually, because tomorrow is day 10 and that's self-care. Choose a different method. And so then the mantra. Here we go. So this is a simple mantra you can chant. For those that know the Mrityunjaya mantra, Om Triambakaina Jamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhana Mrityor Mukshi Yamamrta Ate. That mantra you can chant while you're sitting on the toilet, and for the elimination to work. Like so you can chant and connect to your intestine, to your stomach, to your anus, and like really relax consciously your whole body, taking time, exhaling, inhaling, and let it come out as you chant. And then the simpler mantra, this is dedicated to the digestive fire, the digestion. The apanaha called samanaha is the digestive fire, for it to be strong. So you can repeat after me. Om Om Samanaya Swaha Samanaya Swaha. So here we have sa. Sa is always aspirate. It's sa. It's always a strong sa. And then we have long a. So the first a is short, sa, sa. And then the second a is long. You see the long line on top. It's called dirgha a. Samanaya. Samanaya. And then swaha a. Swaha a. So you also see my jaw. That also then relaxes. Like Sanskrit being a phonetical language, all these mantras help our digestion, help the elimination, emotions, stimulus, food. Like it's all here too. All the mantras are here to purify really the antakarana, the inner instrument, and the outer instrument, but mainly inner instrument. Om Samanaya Swaha. Om Samanaya Swaha. We can chant together. Om Samanaya Swaha. Om Samanaya Swaha. Om Samanaya Swaha. Om Samanaya Swaha. And as we chant, imagine yourself sitting on the throne, sitting on the toilet, relaxing your body, sitting in malasana, or having the squatty potty. Like so your legs are relaxed, your butt is relaxed, your belly. Om Samanaya Swaha. Om Samanaya Swaha. Om Samanaya Swaha. 3 more times. Om Samanaya Swaha. Om Samanaya Swaha. Om Samanaya Swaha. So Swaha, I really let go, I offer, I invoke. At first it's invocation and then I really let go. Right? So I invoke the Samana, I invoke the digestive fire, and I really let go of my elimination. Right? No need to hold on. No, don't go, don't go, don't go. Like when we're holding on to things and people, we don't want things to change. We don't want things to be different than what they are. The more resistance we have, the more agendas we have for things, the more we're tight, naturally there will be indigestion, constipation. So, Om Samanaya Swaha. Like I welcome what is here, I welcome the digestion, let it burn what needs to burn, and then I give it back. It's not mine, it's not mine, it's not mine. Wonderful. So this is step number 9. If you have any questions, let me know. Let me know. Good. Yeah, this is for when we go for elimination, like to invoke the digestive fire, for the digestive fire to be strong. So we have 5. Samana is one of the 5 pranas. We have prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana. And so here we're invoking the digestive fire so that we can digest all the stimulus that comes in, but also a lot our food that we intake. And when we talk about food, like in the Vedic tradition, we not talk only about food, like nutrition food, like anna food like rice and fruits, but also the food is also the stimulus that comes in through our 5 sense organs. Is this one you can chant to try to have Is this one you can chant to try to have I don't understand that. What did you understand? Is this one you can chant? I don't understand the question, Kate.
It's like if you want to poop. That's maybe what she's asking.
Is this one you can chant to try to... Yeah, so you can chant it like before, during, after. Right? So you're invoking the digestive fire. Yeah, yes, exactly. This one, but also the Mrityunjaya mantra. So Om Triambakaina Yajam, that also. You can also like to have the death, right? Because the death is taking place. Like also when we cannot go to the toilet, we're holding on to something. We don't want things to die. And so that's why so many people have constipation, because we don't want things to die. We're not in touch with the destructive principle. So we can have this mantra. Or you simply, like in English, if you don't feel comfortable with the Sanskrit, in my excretion, I invoke the sacred. May my digestion be well and purify my body. Vidan, you're asking or saying, I heard we can't utter Om in the unholy places. Yes, I know that some people, some traditions say that, like from the tradition I come, there are no really unholy places. And first of all, like all places are holy and sacred, and as long as we come with that reverence, I can chant anywhere. So we are doing this to neutralize any disgust around any aspect of our life and our experience. Yeah, so we do it with that intention to neutralize any disgust, any profanity, and come back to the sanctity of our excretion, of the destructive side of our life. Yeah, so yes, basically that's it. Okay. Anything else? These are the 9 steps. First step is, before we wake up, Anandoham, limitless fullness I am, remembering, acknowledging my existence. I've been given one more day to live. Then the breath. Yogakshema iti prana panayoho. Acknowledging that we can breathe. Then step number 3. Karagre vasate Lakshmi, Karamadye Saraswati, Karamule stita Gauri, Prabhate Karadarshanam. Acknowledging that we're able to act, and we ask for the sanctification of all our actions. Number 4, taking the temperature, or simply honoring the cosmic womb, the creative power. Number 5, honoring the earth. I offer my gratitude, and please protect me with every step I do. And we're touching the earth, and bless this body and everyone else. Number 6, the drinking of the water. Achitaya namaha, Anantaya namaha, Om Govindaya namaha. Number 7, checking mucus, those that are menstruating beings. And otherwise, we are simply celebrating all the excretion and all the fluids in our bodies, men, women, non-binary, that we can do also in step number 7. Step number 8, honoring the blood when we are in bleeding days, offering our blood to Mother Earth, or all the other ways that I told you about yesterday. And then number 9 today, elimination. Very, very, very important one. Very important one to ritualize. And then tomorrow, if we wake up, we have number 10, self-care, pleasure, where we're going to sanctify our self-care, our pleasure. So thank you so much for joining today with me here. We're doing so amazing. And have a wonderful day, night, morning, wherever you are. And if we wake up, I'll see you tomorrow, same time for day step 10. Much love.